All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get her going here. Start me off. Where to bid to go? Have it $1,000. Open it up.
What is a tax overage list? So I'm Ted Thomas. I've been involved as an investor and a guide in the tax lien certificate and the tax deed business for 30 years. So a tax lien or tax deed auctions, they've been around for over 200 years. And all the county's trying to do is collect money so they can pay their employees. So the local government needs money to pay to administrate and manage the county. So the revenue that they get from property taxes is what pays to manage the county. So in the event of a property tax or a property owner does not pay the tax, well, then there's going to be consequence. And the consequence is that they're going to take the property away. That means they're going to confiscate it. So the tax collector and the treasurer, they're going to send out notices. Then they're going to levy the tax. They'll put the property in default if they haven't paid the tax. And then they'll ultimately seize that property. They'll confiscate it, take it away from the owner, and what will they do with it? They're going to auction it.
How better go there? How better go there? How better go where? How better go here? How bid now? How better go?
So when they seize the property, the only reason they take the property, it's their objective to put it up for sale and sell it for the back taxes. All right, now they don't have to mark the property up. They can start the bidding at the back taxes. So if you are a buyer, you'd love to buy at the back taxes or 10 or 20 cents on the dollar. All right, all of the properties within the county have property taxes. Now, when those properties are put up for sale, anybody can go and bid at those auctions. All right, so the auction might start at 10 cents, 20 cents, 30 cents on the dollar. Now, I've attended many auctions where the auction starts at $100. That does not mean that the property will sell at $100. It could start at that price, but it will be sold to the highest bidder. Highest bidder always wins at the auction. So today, what are we talking about? This episode is about what is a tax overage list. All right, so when someone buys at a tax defaulted auction, they might pay more than the delinquent taxes. That money is an overage. In other words, they're paid over the tax amount. What's going to happen to that money? All right, so when the bidders come to the auction, the highest bidder is going to win. Everybody knows that. What you should be trying to do is buy 10, 20 cents on the dollar. But let's take a property that's worth $500,000. Let's just go ahead and use an example. So at a $500,000 property, and someone comes in and bids it from the basic back tax of maybe $25,000, and they bid it all the way up to $150,000. All right, you're saying $150,000? Yes, because it's worth $500,000. They're still getting a property for 30 cents on the dollar. So that's a good deal for the buyer. So the buyer is very, very happy. All right, but what happens to the $150,000? Well, the $150,000, first of all, $25,000 of that is going to pay the back taxes that weren't paid. All right, now, folks, the taxes have been paid. Now there's $125,000 that's left over. All right, so before I go further, let me be clear on this. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a CPA. I'm not an advisor in any way. I'm really an investor, just like you would be an investor, and I'm a guide, and I show people how to do that. So I'm just covering fourth grade math today. So let me give you that math one more time. $500,000 property had $25,000 in taxes, but someone comes in and they pay $150,000 to be the top bidder on that property. Well, that's good. Well, that was $125,000 more than the treasurer was actually asking for the property. So the treasurer's got their money. The overage now stays with the county. All right. Why does it stay with the county? Because it just stays with the county. However, the property owner could do something about that if they so desired. But most property owners don't show up. So what are we talking about? We're talking about what is a tax overage list. What does this really mean? It means that $125,000, anybody that overpaid that at the auction, that money goes to the county and the county holds on to that. Okay, so the auction took place because of a default. The tax collector now has their money. However, the county has $125,000 to their advantage. All right, so let me quickly go through that again. It was a $500,000 property. The tax was $25,000. Someone paid $150,000. That means $125,000 is an overage. It's paid over, and that money is now sitting at the county. Now, I'm not giving you legal advice. I'm not giving you any advice at all. I'm just explaining how the situation works. All right, but this happens across America at every single auction that's taking place. So let's assume that that the county keeps a list. So if the county has a list, you can call and you can check up on that list. Now, I don't have a memory of every county and every rule in the United States because there's over 3,000 counties that are doing this. But I do know that there's 2 states that do not return this money to anybody. For example, the state of New York, if someone overbids, that overbid that county keeps. They've already told me that. Same thing in Michigan. If the people overbid, which many people do, all right, the county and the state, they keep that money. All right, now it's not up to me to make the rules. It's up to me to make a YouTube video so you can understand this. All right, understand that the counties do what they want to do. I don't make the rules. I'm just here making a YouTube video so that you can understand it. So what do we talk about today? We talked about what is a tax overage list. My assumption is, and from my experience, I've found out that if they brought in more money than was due on the taxes, they make a list of all those properties. So the county will have a list of all the properties that have overbids on them. All right, so overbid simply means that the people have put in more money than was due on the taxes. You see those little white circles? That's how many auctions are taking place within that state in the next 90 days. This calendar updates every single day. I'm here today to show you how to make money. To do that, I'm going to show you briefly that there are thousands of tax defaulted real estate properties across the 3,000 plus counties in the United States. This is quite interesting. You're looking at the Ted Thomas Magic Interactive Map and Auction Calendar. It changes every day. Now, I created the calendar and the map so I would know how many auctions are taking place every day in the United States. Now I can show the little guy how to make money. Most importantly, I created this system so I could have an auction list for each auction 24/7. All right, now here's what you need to know. Small counties, those small counties are going to have just a few people and a few properties to sell. Maybe a couple of dozen or 100 properties. The large counties, they're going to have hundreds, sometimes even thousands of properties to sell at these auctions. All right, now people get confused about all the things that are going on, so you're going to have to go back and watch these videos over again. And my advice to you is get guidance from a coach. Most people need a coach to help them out. If you have a coach, it's like a miracle. Why is it like a miracle? Because once they clear something up, like I've done today, telling you what these overages are, then you can find another way to make money. So, did I say education was important? Definitely. Why is it so important? Because you don't know what you don't know. Now, my experience in talking with people is I found out if I found successful people and wrote down what they told me that they did when I had questions, that made a big difference. My career took off when I started asking a lot of questions. All right, now, starting a business or doing what we're doing today is somewhat intimidating, and that's why people get confused. You need to learn to ask questions of people that know more than you are. All right, now what happens? You don't know something, so you go ahead and do something and you make a mistake. Well, it's going to cost you a lot of money. It's not really necessary for you to waste your money by making mistakes. It's much better to get a coach, a mentor, or a guide to help you out. So the local counties are going to do what they want to do. They all have rules, and that's what the coaches know. They've gone to these counties and they've done this business. All right, tax liens and tax defaulted property, I'm going to tell you right now, this is a serious business. And when you make a mistake, it could be a big one. Now, I'm not an advisor in any way when it comes to legal advice. I don't give any advice on money for like a CPA would or a financial advisor. I'm just a guy that buys tax defaulted property. I've guided people for a number of years. So just keep in mind, those legal notices when they're filed, you're required to know what they say. A lot of people don't know what they say and they don't read the regulation. All right, so right now I've been pointing out highlights of what's going on at these auctions. You'll notice by reading and researching, the more you do, the more you're going to be cautious. Why should you be cautious? Because I can tell you right now, when you go to the county website, there's no warranty of what they've written on the county website. And there's no warranty what's going to happen with the title to the property. It could have defects. All right, so here's my point. The county makes no warranty or guarantee of the condition of the property. They make no warranty or guarantee regarding the title to the property. So you need to research that and learn exactly what to do. Okay, let me close up this video for you right now, but I do want to tell you, when you go to an auction, you could get a treasurer's deed, you could get a tax collector's deed, you could get a commissioner's deed. I don't know which one you're going to get, but more than likely, it's a quit-claim deed. Now, what does a quit-claim deed mean? It means when they give you that deed, they're taking no responsibility for the condition, as I said a few seconds ago, and they're not taking responsibility for what's going on with the title. In other words, there's a defect in the title. You need to research those yourself and be able to do it. It's your job to do research. The county is just trying to get rid of the property and collect basic taxes. All right, so that's all I have for today. I'll be back with another video shortly. Don't forget, request your free auction list right below me.